Okay, so we just got a package from Jorge coming from Moreno Valley, California. And according to the form submission, Jorge sent an Xbox One X that needs an HDMI replacement. Jorge only sent the board. He did not send the whole game console. So we will only be able to change the HDMI port, but we're not going to be able to test if that HDMI port is working or not. We're just going to make sure that all the pins are connected properly and the job is done the right way. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have two HDMI ports on the board. One of them is the in and one of them is the out. Usually the last one is the out. For now, let me just check the HDMI ports under the microscope. And right here, the bad HDMI port is the first one here, and we confirmed this by looking under the microscope. The pins are not good, so we're gonna go ahead and change the first HDMI port on the board. And like always, the first thing I'm gonna do is apply low melt solder onto the sides of the connector and onto the pins of the connector, so we can lower the melting temperature of the connector. Once we do that, then we can easily heat up the connector and take it off the board. Now I have the board tilted at an angle because if we do it like this, then we're not going to be able to see the pins. So what I'm doing is I'm tilting the board like this. I put something under the board. Okay, that should be enough. Now what we have to do is also apply low melt solder onto the sides of the connector, the legs of the connector. We do not have to have the board tilted when we do so. Alright, that should be enough. Flip the board and also do it from the back. See, we have 6 legs from the back. Usually on the Xbox One, Xbox One S, PS4, PS4 Slim, we only have 4 legs. On the X, we have 6 legs, and that's probably to hold it more securely on the board. What we want to do is soak unleaded solder with low melt solder so we can lower the melting temperature. We do not want to apply a lot of heat at once onto the connector to remove it. That will cause a lot of stress on the board and it may cause unwanted problems. I mean, you do not want to apply 400 degrees onto the board to remove a connector. You may cause damage to other parts of the board. You may warp the board. You may cause damage to lines on the board. So what we do is we lower the melting temperature of the joints, and then we can use a little bit of heat from the hot air station to actually melt and take the connector off the board. Okay, so we soaked all the unleaded solder and mixed it with low melt solder, and we did all 6 joints except for this one here. And that's it, the HDMI port is out. Let's start by cleaning the pads. If there's a little bit of solder left inside the hole, that's not a big deal, but it just takes a second to remove the solder. So this is very clean. Let's go ahead and do this one. Let's do this one.
Hi, do you guys do you guys change batteries? Batteries for phones?
Yes, we do. And this one is good. Yeah. Let's go ahead and clean up this mess. That's one, and that's the other one. And let's also clean back of the board. Let's go ahead and solder the sides so we can secure the connector in place, and then we can solder the front ends. I'm gonna put something under the board so we can tilt that board while I'm working on it. Just want to see how the solder is flowing onto the leg. Okay, it's very important that you press down on the connector when soldering the leg. We want to make sure the pins are down and flush with the board. Just a tiny bit is okay. And that's it. We can solder the legs from the back anyway, but I just want to secure this connector in place. The image is a little bit dark because I have the board tilted. Okay, and the connector is solid and in place. Now we can go ahead and flip the board. We can solder the connector from the back, and we can then come back and solder the front pins. هلا وسهلا حسون، كيفك؟
والله اكون عم تسوي؟
ايه عم بعمل فيديو. اقعد خلص. شو بدك؟ خليني اجيب لك كرسي.
لا لا لا.
Let's flip the board and solder the front pins. Drag solder all the way up to here. Do not worry about the bridges right now. And this is another method of soldering an HDMI port on the board. Today we are using the drag soldering method. Let's clean up, apply more flux, and finish off with the drag soldering. Okay, so we have a little bit more solder than we need. That's not a problem, because we will wick the excess solder on the pins. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Very good. Very nice and easy. Okay. Let's go ahead and clean up. One, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So now you know that the Xbox One S or the Xbox One X has 19 pins on the HDMI connector. You learned something new. So doing this will remove all the flux from the board. Flux does not hurt if you keep it on, but I always like to get the board as clean as possible when I'm done working on it. One moment.
Hello?
Hello, NorthridgeFix.
Hi, you're the computer guy, right?
Yes.
This is the computer thing?
Yes.
Hi, I think,
Okay, and the job is done. We have a new HDMI connector right over here. Very solid and very nice. Customer is gonna be happy. We're gonna package this and mail it back to the customer. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.